Let's get to Mitul. What's the name, bro?
Mitul, I'm a die-hard Arsenal fan. I'm in the sports media and journalism industry myself as well.
Of course, can we say it was a proper pigback for Arsenal, having seen what happened in the first leg in France, and Arsenal coming here to win 6-0 right on this ground?
They knew that we had to seek revenge following the reverse fixture. And I think he's come at a very good time as well. Seeing Kai Havertz scoring the winner as well, because I know he's been criticised quite a lot in terms of his performances. He's not creating sparkling performances, but now we can see what he can bring to this team. And now you can see when you read some of the pieces on The Athletic or any other media publications why Declan Rice was a pivotal signing in our Arsenal's rebuild project, and he's a finishing piece of the jigsaw in Arteta's rebuild. Without Declan Rice, he was the centre of this. Can I start again?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Declan Rice has been the centrepiece to Arsenal's rebuild process. So without Declan Rice, I think Arteta's rebuild and what he has, his vision in terms of building this team back into the very top summits of English football, wouldn't work. So he can show you why. I know it's against Lens. We can show you how Declan Rice can help accommodate to Kai Havertz's play and Martin Odegaard and amongst the players on the flanks as well. So he's been so pivotal. But we needed that revenge as well. And I just really like we haven't performed that great today as well. Even the first half when he scored the goals, but the important bit, we got the job done.
Of course, looking at all the teams that have played, talking about the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, do you think Arsenal stand a strong chance of going all the way to the finals or even getting to win the Champions League?
We can win the Champions League. With Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, we can achieve anything. We're a completely different dynasty now if you compare it to like 3-4 years ago. The soul of this football club was lost. Now the soul of this football club has now been reconnected. Being the Champions League in our first season is a very exciting time for Arsenal. All I can say to you now is that I do feel Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz will have a big year for them in terms of playing in the Champions League, and I think there will be the difference because you've seen Kai Havertz scoring the winner in the Champions League final for Chelsea against Manchester City, and Gabriel Jesus had some really good Champions League campaigns at Manchester City, and I still feel he's having a good campaign now because most of his goals this season has come from the Champions League, and now that speaks volumes. I do feel we have every chance of winning the Champions League because I think this ground is going to be a complete fortress for teams that are going to be coming along, because you never know, you might face Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, as you say. I think for me the top two to win the Champions League. If it's not them, then I think it will definitely be us, or like even Manchester City as well. But I think we can beat anybody. And I think what's key as well for the season as well, I know we have a lot of depth this season, which I'm really happy about. I do feel the timing of Jurgen Timbers when he comes back from injury, I think is very pivotal. What I've seen from this player is absolutely immense. Even though in the Community Shield, even the game against Nottingham Forest, you can see he can play in that inverted right back position, and he's actually the backup for William Saliba. So that will be coming in good timing, but I do feel that we've got depth in every area as a team that will contribute and make a difference, make an impact when needed. But I still feel with the likes of William Saliba, Gabriel and Declan Rice, these are the three players that I feel we can't replace in this Arsenal team. I think that will be pivotal in terms of the way we should go forward as a team for the remainder of the season, both in the Premier League and the Champions League.
Don't you think Arsenal still need a striker in January?
Yeah, we still need to sign a striker in January, but what I do feel, and I can see today in today's performance as well, that when Gabriel Jesus goes a little bit forward and he's not in his false nine position, you see Kai Havertz pushing in there as well. So this is kind of the Arteta's evolution, where you've seen last season with Zinchenko playing in this kind of inverted midfield position, playing at left back, and you see how much he can offer more than Kieran Tierney. Because I think Arteta's not using any more of using as a traditional left back and that burst through and make crosses we've seen in the past generation with the likes of Ashley Cole. But I do feel we do need a striker. I do believe that, but I still feel we get goals across the team. You have to remember, last season we scored 88 Premier League goals. That was the best record we've had in a 38-game season, or since the inception of the Premier League. That's the highest goals Arsenal have scored in the Premier League season, in a single Premier League season. And we got goals across across a lot of players like Martinelli, Jesus, Saka. So a lot of those players were on double figures last. Even Odegaard was on double figures. So they can show you we can get goals across across the team. Like with Manchester City, they relied largely on Erling Haaland. So we know that goals will not be a problem. I do feel sometimes we need a clinical striker, because there are games this season where I felt like, even the draw against Tottenham, a draw against Fulham, a draw against Chelsea, I do feel in those kind of moments you do need a top striker. And yes, Arsenal shouldn't need to sign a top striker. But now the dilemma faced on Arteta is Gabriel Jesus going to be dropped out. Is he going to be second fiddle? Or you're going to try and a way to find accommodate those two. So it's going to be a very tough decision for him. But I do feel whatever Arteta's decision he's going to make is always going to be the right one. He's got the pulling power. He's got the lure to lure a player in, and you can see how central he is in terms of getting Declan Rice, and you can see from his interviews with Declan Rice that Arteta was the key forefront in terms of why he wanted to come to Arsenal. And he was the manager to take his game to this next level, and you can see that right now. Where people may be thinking Declan Rice, he just came from West Ham. No disrespect to West Ham, but he was like a top player. He was a top player for a club like West Ham. He can be an even better player at Arsenal, and you can see that now, that why he's the centrepiece in this Arsenal rebuild, which I'm really excited about. And you never know what we can achieve with this team.
Of course, next game is Wolves. Next game is Wolves. Do you think Arsenal can have the 3 points in the bag on Saturday?
Never say never. Wolves have beaten Tottenham. They have beaten Manchester City. I know there was at Wolves' ground at the Molineux. Wolves can cause an upset. They will have the tactic of parking the bus a little bit once they hit us on the counter and take a goal in. So I do trust on what Arteta is going to pick in terms of his starting 11. It's not going to be easy. If hopefully VAR will go under our favour if there's any decision comes our way, hopefully, and there will be no more these kind of VAR bust-ups that we see in the Newcastle game, so that should be avoided. But it won't be easy, and look, we have to remember we have not played great football this season, so far this season, which is good. Because the other thing about this time last year, when Manchester City were performing, they were not playing great football. They started to play their best football during the February-March period. And that's when they hit first gear, and that's when they won the league ahead of us. And that's when, for Arsenal last season, we had Gabriel Jesus out during the World Cup and then coming back into March. But when he came back in March, we had Saliba and Tomiyasu injured. For me, they were so pivotal. And I think if we had Saliba and Tomiyasu fit during that crucial period, we would have won the league. Because I think last season we had the best 11, but with the bench, we didn't have enough depth. I think with this game going ahead, I think those are the kind of games we know that we've got the depth that we can do the job, hopefully.
Before I let you go, should Arsenal win the Premier League or the Champions League this season?
Let's win both. Why not? Arteta's completely creating a different dynasty to this club, and way he's transformed this club, and he's going to be the man for many years. Because Pep Guardiola said himself, like, people thinking that it's because of Pep that's why he's become like that. No, he's not. He said, I've learned a lot from him. I didn't make him what he is today. Arsenal got a manager for many years, and Pep was right after we beat them here back in October with the Martinelli scoring the winner. So he can show you that we can win the league and win the Champions League. We can achieve anything with this team because they're fearless. They've shown resilience. It's all about now. It's about their mental toughness, about getting the job over the finishing line towards the crucial end of the season. That's the key part now that I think they will improve and they will learn from last season. Why are we not playing great football? It's good now because when it comes to February, March, we need to hit first gear when it really matters the most.